3, 2, 1. Here we go. What's going on, YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be, and welcome back to the mobile gaming recap for January 2020. Now, before we get in this episode, this one is sponsored by Nox Player. So if you are in the market and you're looking for a brand new Android emulator for your PC, look no further than Nox. Down in the description below and in the pinned comment, I will have a link that'll take you directly to Nox Player. This is a clean install of Nox, so enjoy. And of course, Nox is fantastic for saving your battery life on your phone or being able to run multiple instances on your PC to re-roll to your heart's content. So enjoy. Thank you, Nox Player, for sponsoring this video. So let's start today's episode off with the biggest global release of 2020, none other than Arknights. This is a brand new hero collector RPG gacha tower defense game. Now, this game came with a ton of hype. Some people say it was warranted, some people say it wasn't. Me personally, my hype meter was based on this. My expectations for Arknight was that it needed to be the very best tower defense game ever created. Now that sounds pretty lofty, and actually, to be honest, I don't even know how high that bar is, but I will tell you that it exceeded my expectations thoroughly. This, like I said, this is by far the best tower defense game ever created. I know some people don't really like that genre, but I implore you to at least give it a try, because the characters in this game, the gameplay, like this is one of the rare games where I actually feel connected to the characters on a game that was not based on a famous IP from an anime. Like, it's easy to feel connected to Tsunade, for example, but these characters here, totally new creations, and I'm already digging them. I'm already like really enamored with some of their personalities. It's a fantastic game. Do not let the tower defense label dissuade you from trying this amazing game. Not to mention, the developers and the publishers behind this game are known for fair monetization, and already looking at the game thus far, I gotta say that they achieved it. Right now, if you go on YouTube, there are tons of videos of people defeating the hardest content in the game with low rarity or just free-to-play characters in general. And that's amazing, right? So you don't even have to be beholden to the gacha in this game. You can absolutely play this game 100% free-to-play and get a ton of enjoyment out of it. So Arknights, by far, you know, I know it's early, it's only January, but by far this is the best release that we've seen in 2020. Definitely give it a shot. I'm gonna be playing it for a long time, hopefully. But you know, hey, let's be fair, right? Those are all a bunch of pros. How about some cons, FG? Well, the only cons that I've really seen was, of course, the whole tower defense as a combat mechanism. I heard that. There's not really a lot of social aspects with this game. There's no co-op, there's no guilds or anything like that. All you have is like a friends list and the supporters on your friends list you really can't even use, because if you do use them, you don't get 3 stars on your stages, which is super important. So that's kind of a beef. And then long term, some people have said that the higher stages that you get to, the more stamina it takes, and you'll eventually get to a point where you can only run a few stages before your stamina is completely depleted. So those are all fair criticisms. But now, since this game, you know, is now globally launched, I do have a lot of faith in this developer to address any issues that it had in its Chinese release. And moving forward, I anticipate, you know, tons of new events, story, content, costumes, all kinds of stuff. I'm here for it. So that, my friends, is Arknights. So our next big release of January was Extraordinary Ones. Now this game is just your tried and true Summoner's Rift style MOBA with anime characters, and that's pretty much it. Maybe I'm a little jaded because I have been playing MOBAs for years and years and years, but I'm not the only one. You have too. So if you are kind of jaded with the whole MOBA experience, I don't really see anything here that's going to change your mind. This one has anime characters and you can buy equipment outside of the base, but other than that, the little small, you know, little tweaks to the formula are just not substantial enough to change the way the overall gameplay loop feels, right? It's your tried and true MOBA. You got a laning phase, you got ducking in and out of bushes, trying to chase people behind towers, last hitting, you got the mid game, you got tower rushes, it's the same exact MOBA experience we've already done, just with anime characters. Now this game does have some pretty hype collaborations that maybe if the game is successful here, we'll see here in global, but other than that, if you're kind of bored with the whole MOBA sphere, this is not going to be enough for you. Maybe the only game that's probably going to reinvigorate your MOBA fire is probably going to be Wild Rift, but I don't even see why that would be a thing, because that's literally what we've been playing for years, so I have no idea. But like I said, I could be jaded. I played way too many MOBAs, so it's kind of hard for me to give this game a fair shake, but it is out there. You want a MOBA with anime characters? NetEase gotcha, Extraordinary Ones. So these next two games, I'm gonna go ahead and combine them into one segment because they're pretty much the same thing. We saw the release of Black Clover Phantom Knights as well as Mob Psycho 100 Psychic Battle, and I say that these games are pretty much the same, and I said it in both videos, that these are fan service hero collectors. And what I mean by that is that nobody would play these games if the IP wasn't attached. If the game didn't say Black Clover or Mob Psycho on the cover, nobody would play them. Now, in the defense of Mob Psycho, I would say that it's the better game of the two. I think Black Clover is not really redeemable. That's like, people have said this and I agree with them. It looks like that game should have came out in 2016, right? That game seems extremely dated. The combat system's boring. And like I said, nobody would touch that game if it didn't have the Black Clover name on it. I still would be wary of it. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to be around for the long haul, so definitely buyer beware. But the same thing with Mob Psycho. It's just one of those games where if it didn't have Mob Psycho's name on it, nobody would play it. And because of that, since the gameplay isn't enough to keep people enamored, the IP doesn't have that many characters, right? So I don't think that either one of these games are going to be around for the long haul. And I hate to use the word cash grab. I don't like to use that word, but it just seems like these games are going to be out for a little while, grab as much money as they possibly can, and probably shut down. Because here in 2020, you've been saying this a lot, FG, I'm gonna say it again. Here in 2020, gamers are gonna have so much less time to play average or below average games. We're just not gonna have the time for it. There's just gonna be so many good games coming out this year that little small niche games like this are just not gonna be able to grab the audience that they need to be a game as a service. Because as a game as a service, you gotta have reoccurring income, you have to have an active player base, and I just don't see either one of these games being able to sustain that. So as soon as the money dries up, the content dries up. When the content dries up, the players dry up, and then it's just dry. There you go. So there you go, Black Clover Phantom Knights as well as Mob Psycho 100 Psychic Battle. Two games that if you're a fan of the anime, give it a try, but I just would not get very invested in either one. There you go. So that will do it for all the currently released titles. Moving on to future releases. Now, we already got the release of Ark Knights. A lot of people were saying that was going to be the biggest, hypest release of early 2020. But another game that they also said was going to be a big hype release here in early 2020 is 7 Deadly Sins. Now, I got people in my Discord that are literally calling this the perfect game. Yeah, they said it, not me. A lot of people were saying that this is gonna be my very first S-ranked tiered hero collector ever. I guess we're gonna see. So 7 Deadly Sins, no confirmed release date just yet, but early 2020 is most likely. Next title up is DragonQuest of the Stars with a semi-confirmed release window-ish. The pre-registration for this game ends on the 24th of February, so you would have to assume that global release is going to be directly after that. Now, I don't know a lot about this game. One thing I do know is that the game is over 5 years old, making its way over to global. Now, I got a lot of faith in the DragonQuest IP, but 5 years in the mobile gaming sphere is a long time. There's a lot of mechanics and streamlining and quality of life that we all take for granted that we've been long past. So I'm not sure how up to date this game is when it comes to just general 2020 level of quality of life and streamlining. I guess we're gonna see. I'm definitely gonna be there for it. So stay tuned for this one. This one, like I said, should be end of February. And lastly, on the future release schedule, we have Dragon Raja, which is a brand new upcoming mobile MMO. Now, this game is absolutely on fire in its home country, but we've all been playing games long enough to know that just because a game is like the king in its home country, when it comes global, all bets are off. Ask Landgrisser, that game knows. So we'll be on the lookout for this one. This one's also gonna be kind of a late February as well. So that will do it. Let's move on over to the quick hits, starting off with Epic 7, ladies and gentlemen, dropping pet snacks finally. I came back to the game when pets were added, thinking that it was the auto repeat that I had been looking for. Oh no, it wasn't. I felt so bamboozled after coming back to the game at that point, but finally they are dropping pet snacks. So now you can auto repeat without pet snacks. Based on the tier of your pet, you can do auto repeats up to 20 times, which is actually pretty decent in Epic 7 because right around that time you probably want to switch out fodder units at that point. So looking forward to that finally changing. It looks like the review bombs have definitely made an impact. Things are changing. Epic 7's looking up, and the last time I looked at the rating on the Play Store, it's moved out of the high 2s up into like the mid 3s. So definitely people are going back, and this is what I always stress. If you 1-star review a game, trying to make a message, trying to send a message to the developers, if they do fix that thing, please go back and update your rating. That's only fair. So Epic 7 is back on my radar. I'm looking forward to the auto repeat feature, and I'll be back then, day one. Speaking of going back to games, I recently reinstalled DX2 as they celebrate their 2nd year anniversary just a few days ago. So I started a brand new fresh account because I wanted to kind of see what the new player experience was, and man, let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's like a flat 30% EXP boost all the way up to level 80. There's like 7, no exaggeration, there's like 7 login bonuses. Like as soon as you log into the game, there's like a login bonus day one, all over the place. I think I got like over 40 plus summons on a fresh account within about 20 minutes of gameplay at that. So a lot of stuff going on in DX2. This is a game that kind of came out in a busy window for me, so I didn't really play it for an extended period of time. But like I said, I started a brand new account, taking advantage of all the 2nd year anniversary goodies, and I do have a video planned for this one, either on Sunday or next week. I do want to play the game for just a little bit longer to kind of get reacclimated to it, because I did start a brand new account, so I got to get back to where I was and then get a little further before I give you guys a 2020 impressions of DX2. But there you go, 2nd year anniversary, enjoy. So also in gaming news, we have 3 hype collaborations either underway or on the way. Starting off with Sidorica Sunset and Citus 2. That collaboration started a couple of days ago. In addition to that, we also have Dragalia Lost and Monster Hunter collab. That one starts on January the 28th, so that's right around the corner. I've already reinstalled Dragalia Lost in anticipation. I know a lot of people on the Gacha Gaming subreddit do the same. Shout out to you guys. I'm always reinstalling Dragalia Lost during hype events, and you know what? You shouldn't feel bad about that. I saw some people kind of feeling some way about that. If you don't feel bad about reinstalling games during hype periods, there is no rule that you have to play a hero collector every single day like it's a job, all right? If you want to log into a game while it's the most hype and the most fun, enjoy the fun, and then come back later, nothing wrong with that. So Dragalia Lost Monster Hunter collab, that one's on the 28th. I will be here for a video for that one, so stay tuned. Also, Grand Summoners has a replay event of the Goblin Slayer collaboration. That's going to be sometime in February. I just posted the video earlier today, getting ready for it. Right now is a good time to start playing the game because you will get a guaranteed 5-star, and that will definitely help you on your travels as you get prepared for the Goblin Slayer event, as well as being disappointed in the summoning banner. So those are all the collaborations that are currently underway. Now, before we end this video, we have to give our respects, ladies and gentlemen, to Mobius Final Fantasy. Down it goes. That one's going to be shutting down. And then Revolve 8 from Sega. That is a Clash Royale anime clone. That one is being shut down as well. Don't say it again, FG. I'm going to say it. In 2020, ladies and gentlemen, we're not gonna have enough time to play all of these games. So get used to the very end of this video where we go through the graveyard of mobile games. There's gonna be more in 2020, I assure you, because all of these games are games as a service. They all want a lot of the money. They don't want a little bit of money. They want a lot of the money, and some games want all of the money. And if they don't get that, they're out. So, you know, it's sad because I know some people still play or were playing these games all the way up to the end announcement, but actually I don't have anything to say in condolences. I don't know what to say. The mobile market is just so massive. There's so many games. It's inevitable that some games are going to be left by the wayside. That's just the way the mobile market is right now. Over there in the PC world, releases are not as frequent as they are in mobile, so games have the ability to live a little bit more in PC, and not to mention a lot of those games are buy once and then you're done. Here in mobile, with the games as a service model, with the aggressive release schedule that we have, it's not going to be good for everybody. That will do it. Once again, my name is FG3000. Once again, thank you to Nox Player for sponsoring this video. I will have links to download Nox in the description below. You can play every single game that I've listed in this video via Nox Player. Once again, my name is FG3000. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Later.